This is a CBC special presentation.
What is the one book that all of Canada should read? That is what we are here to find out. 5 amazing Canadians are here with me. Each one has chosen the book that they believe the entire country should read. And this year we're looking for one book to build bridges. Which title will it be? We will find out this week. It's the Great Canadian Book Debate. I'm your host, Ali Hassan. This is Canada Reads. Hello and welcome to Canada Reads. It's a new year, a new panel. It's the 25th edition of Canada Reads. You might say this is our silver anniversary. I'm open to accepting gifts of silver all week. Maybe something nice for the wrist. I'm actually not allowed to. Thank you so much. Steve offered me his pen. I can't do that. I'm bound by some journalistic standards and practices. I am seated at the classic Canada Reads poker table with the 5 Canadians who make up this year's panel. Over the next 4 days, they will select the one book all of Canada should read. It's a huge task, but they will get the job done. Let's meet them now. On my left is our first panelist. She is a musician, best known as one half of pop indie duo Tegan and Sarah. They have played arenas worldwide, and they have sold more than 1 million albums. Welcome to Canada Reads, Tegan Quin.
Thank you so much. I'm really thrilled to be here without Sarah.
Without Sarah, a jab at your sister unnecessarily right out of the gate. As part of the band, Tegan and Sarah, you're practically Canadian music royalty. Would you consider Canada Reads perhaps another jewel in your crown?
I'm very excited to be here. Obviously, Sarah was here many years ago and loved her experience. We're both big readers, and though I am very nervous, and took up a shocking amount of space in my brain, I'm thrilled to be here.
Wonderful to hear. Tell me about the book that you're championing.
I just loved The Cure for Drowning. I just picked it up and couldn't put it down. I'm so excited to be championing it. I'm thrilled to argue with everybody about it, and I really think Canadians should read it.
We'll get to it. All right. Thank you, Tegan. Next to Tegan is our second panelist. He's a Broadway actor, singer, and television personality. He's known for his 5-season stint as host of the children's show Blues, Clues, and You. Welcome to Canada Reads, Josh Dela Cruz.
Hi.
Josh, how are you?
I'm well. I'm really, really excited about this, and I'm excited to talk about books, something I never thought I would be.
I'm happy you opened your arms up. You were in the most defensive position with your arms crossed as a guy who says he's feeling good.
I'm feeling great.
Yes. Now,
I'm
let
not
me ask
nervous
you
at
this.
all.
You played Aladdin on Broadway, and you played a TV with a dog. You played on TV with a dog named Blue. Are you ready to play on Canada Reads?
I am. I'm really, really excited to play with everybody here and find out why they love their book more than I did.
And on that note, tell us about the book that you are championing.
I'm championing Foe by Iain Reid. This book made me fall in love with reading again. I've never had a book list ever in my life, but after reading this book, I have so many that I'm going to be reading after we're done here.
Wonderful. Our job here is done at Canada Reads. Thank you, Josh. Across from me at the Canada Reads table is our third panelist. She is one of Canada's biggest book content creators with 2.6 million followers on TikTok. She's also a podcaster with a passion for books and stories. Welcome to Canada Reads, Morgann Book.
Thank you for having me.
How are you feeling?
I'm good. I think the nerves have hit in the last 5 minutes, but I do talk about books for a living.
Exactly.
So...
Yeah, you don't just talk about books. You are a tastemaker. You're known for content that connects with millions, as I said. Your last name is Book. I mean, is it fate that you're here at Canada Reads?
It's in the DNA.
It's in the DNA. This was inevitable. Tell us about the book that you're championing.
I am championing It's Different This Time by Josh Richard, a debut romance novel. Fell in love with it last summer, fell in love with it again for the show. I'm excited to champion it.
Very nice. Thank you, Morgann. Next to Morgann is our fourth panelist. She's a writer, director, and actor from Winnipeg. She's known for creating films and documentaries that win awards and command attention. Welcome to Canada Reads, Elle-Máijá Tailfeathers. How are you, Elle-Máijá?
I'm well, thank you. I'm not from Winnipeg. I'm from the Blood Reserve, or Kainai, which is part of the Blackfoot Confederacy in southern Alberta. I'm also Sami from northern Norway, and I'm based in Winnipeg and very proud to live there.
We'll make sure somebody's fired for that incredible oversight. You are also a documentary film director. That is correct. I know that about you. You were known for doing research in that capacity. Have you done enough prep for Canada Reads?
I hope so. We'll find out.
We will find out. I'm sure we will. Tell me about the book that you're championing.
Well, I am so honored and grateful to be championing A Minor Chorus by Billy-Ray Belcourt. It's a profound work of fiction, and I think that every Canadian should read this book. I can't wait to talk about it.
Thank you, Elle-Máijá. Our final panelist is on my right. He's a hockey YouTube personality and podcaster from Ajax, Ontario. His passion for hockey is rivaled only by his love for conversation and debate. Welcome to Canada Reads, Steve Dangle Glynn.
Hi.
Steve, how are you feeling this morning?
Terrified, obviously. This is the scary part, right? The line before the ride is the way I word it. So you're just staring up at this thing that's about to toss you around. Is how I feel right now.
That's interesting that you frame it that way. I'm wondering, you're known for your hot takes when you talk about hockey. Are you going to make like a Zamboni and mop up the ice with your competitors?
Wow. Probably not. Because I follow like a lot of you guys on Instagram and stuff now, and like Josh knows jujitsu and stuff. It was jujitsu, right?
It was jujitsu.
And the last thing my kid needs to see live on YouTube is me getting choked out live by Josh from Blue's Clues. So
Good for
I'm just gonna try to.
Good for ratings.
It could be. It could be.
Let's get the shakes out of your voice and have you talk about something I know that you love, which is the book that you're championing. What book is it? Tell people.
Searching for Terry Punchout by Tyler Hellard. It is a lovely book, work of fiction that uses hockey as a vessel to talk about lots of different things, particularly reconnecting with a community that you left, you thought you didn't like, and you discover some things along the way.
Wonderful. We'll get into all of that and more. But there you have it. We've completed the Canada Reads Circle, our Canada Reads 2026 contenders. Okay, now we know the players. It's time to know the game. Tegan, Josh, Morgann, Elle-Máijá, and Steve, we're going to go around the poker table. We'll play a trailer for each book, and then you will each get 60 seconds to make your opening arguments. When your time is up, I will ring this famous Canada Reads bell. And after your opening statements, it will be time to debate. And before the day's over, you will cast your very first vote. To quote some of the Etobicoke baseball dads I hang out with, let's go! Okay, Tegan, you are up first. You're championing the novel The Cure for Drowning by Loghan Paylor. Here's the trailer.
When 10-year-old Kit fell through the ice, everything changed. They struggle to fit the expectations of a proper farm girl, running around in boys' clothes, chasing a train on horseback. Their mother worries that they won't find somewhere to belong. Kit starts to worry too. Until Rebecca comes to the small Ontario farm town. She is drawn to Kit and sees them for who they are. But Kit's brother Landon can see a life with Rebecca. The love triangle and the Second World War tears the family apart. Rebecca, Kit, and Landon all go their separate ways. They join the war effort, overseas and on the Canadian front. But when fate brings them back together, they'll have to let go of the past to move forward.
Tegan, you have 60 seconds. Why is The Cure for Drowning the one book all of Canada should read?
I chose The Cure for Drowning because I loved it. Simple but true. I fell in love with the characters, I rooted for them, and in the end, I felt like I understood them. On one hand, it's a sweeping historical family drama rife with sibling rivalry, compromise, loss, longing, magic, war, queerness, a love triangle, and plenty of sexual tension. But it's also a book about identity. Every character's grappling with who they are and how that aligns or doesn't with how the world sees them. At some point, each of them is forced to make an impossible choice, not just for themselves, but for their family, their community, or their country. I found that deeply relatable. Who among us hasn't struggled with who we are or had to make an impossible choice? The queerness at the core of the story has been often erased from historical fiction, so I don't want to minimize its importance here. It was a reason why I chose this book, but not the only one. Ultimately, my job was to choose a book I thought Canadians should read. The Cure for Drowning builds a super highway of bridges, making it the most accessible, the most readable, and I believe the best choice for this year's Canada Reads.
Okay, thank you, Tegan.
A super
Josh,
highway of
you are
I mean-
next on deck. You are championing the thriller Foe by Iain Reid. Let's check out the trailer.
Junior and Henrietta live on a farm, isolated from the world. No one ever visits. Until late one night, a stranger arrives. Terrence says he works for a corporation or the government. The lines are blurred. Junior has been selected to go to outer space, alone, without Henrietta. Terrence says it won't happen for years, but he keeps coming back. He digs into Junior's life. He probes into their marriage. Henrietta is the only thing that matters to Junior, but she seems to know more than she's letting on. Will Junior and Henrietta's relationship survive? How well do they really know each other?
Josh, you have 60 seconds. Why is Foe the one book all of Canada should read?
Foe got me back into reading. At the core of it, it's a family drama about a married couple living quietly, trying to avoid a dystopian future until it comes barreling through their front door. For me, it's about change, something that I have a very difficult time grappling with, especially these days. So whether you're an avid reader or someone like me who hasn't picked up a book in a very, very long time, Iain Reid's use of sci-fi and psychological thriller elements will keep you on the edge of your seat. I know it made me very, very stressed. Foe meets us at a pivotal moment in our time where the lines between corporation and government are blurred, where consent, free will, individuality are called into question, and asked me, if you could save your relationship before it was too late, could you break free from your programmed routine, or would you just continue to comply? Foe is George Orwell's 1984 for the 21st century, and that's why I believe every Canadian should read this book.
Okay, thank you, Josh. Morgann, it is your turn to play. You're championing the novel It's Different This Time by Josh Richard. Let's roll the trailer.
Hey, I'm June Wood, and I love fall. Feeling the crisp autumn air, wandering through the streets of New York, walking to Broadway, where I work. I was living the dream, but I can't go back to New York. Or at least I thought I couldn't. Until I get an email that changes everything. Now I'm years and miles away. An entire country, really. I was a different person then. I never imagined I'd be back in this brownstone apartment. And the last person I'd ever expect to see is Adam. 11 years ago, Adam and I met on a whim. We decided to live together as friends. We were there for each other. For all the laughter and the tears and the late night pasta. 74 Perry Street was our home. Adam was my home. Seeing him again, all those feelings come rushing back. You're rarely given second chances. But what if it's different this time?
Morgann, 60 seconds are on the clock. Why is It's Different This Time the one book that all of Canada should read?
It's Different This Time is a debut romance that reflects what life actually looks like right now. Messy, uncertain, and deeply human. What makes this book so powerful is its honesty. June goes to therapy. She struggles to have a relationship with her mom, and she questions whether the life she was told she should have is the one that she actually wants. That experience of feeling lost and unsure is something that so many people can relate to, including probably all of us at this table right now. The relationships are also incredibly real. June and Adam don't fall in love easy. They hesitate, they miscommunicate, and they're afraid of ruining what they already have. Alongside that, we see June build a chosen family with the Harpers, reminding us that blood doesn't equal family. It also offers Filipino representation in a way that feels natural and integrated into the story, reflecting Canada's diversity without making it the sole focus. And most importantly, this is the book that people will actually read and enjoy. This is the book that people will see themselves in, and that's what builds bridges.
Leaving some time on the table, all of you so far. Thank you, Morgann. Elle-Máijá, you now have the floor. You are championing the novel A Minor Chorus by Billy-Ray Belcourt. Let's play the trailer.
I've been thinking a lot about what a dissertation can accomplish. What about a novel? Consumed by the question, I knew I had to remake my life, leave academia. I want my writing to be social, represent queer people, Cree people, my community. Maybe a novel has the ability to capture a multitude of voices, a minor chorus. I drive home to rural northern Alberta. I talk with my great aunts about her imprisoned grandson, a neighbor about lost love, a cousin at a powwow, an old friend behind bars. I listen to stories. We share grief, joys, longings. I wonder if I can capture the texture of a place, my people, be their voice. I sit down and begin to write my novel.
Elle-Máijá, 60 seconds are all yours. Why is A Minor Chorus the one book all of Canada should read?
A Minor Chorus is a masterful celebration of the ordinary but remarkable lives of those who are often disregarded in rural northern Alberta. But despite its specificity of place and people, this story is universal. In a world that is increasingly intolerant to difference, this is a call to the power of softness, vulnerability, and human connection. It urges us to bask in the chaos and beauty of what makes us all human, to remember, to regret, to dream, to hope, to yearn, to lust, to grieve, to laugh, and to love. Billy-Ray Belcourt's lush prose and radical poetics reach across the divide in a way that is so gentle and honest, it cannot be ignored. This book reminds us that history lives within each and every one of us in all its pain, beauty, and complexity. And what we do with it will determine the legacy of this country that we call Canada. This is the book that builds bridges. Yes.
Thank you, Elle-Máijá.
Oh my God, my heart was about to burst out of my chest.
Steve, you're next on my right, making you the final panelist. You are championing the novel Searching for Terry Punchout by Tyler Hellard. Here's the trailer.
Adam McAllister is a sports writer, a failing one, and he's driving home to Pennington, Nova Scotia with no idea what to expect. It's been a decade since he turned his back on his hockey-obsessed hometown to make it out west. He's hoping to save his floundering career by doing a profile on the former NHL enforcer, Terry Punchout, who also happens to be Adam's estranged old man. Now, Terry's down on his luck and driving the Zamboni in the hockey arena named in his honor. Oh, and he also lives there, in the arena. For Adam, being back home means running into childhood friends and former flames. It's almost as if nothing has changed. They get drunk, crack jokes, and get into the odd fist fight. With Adam's career hanging in the balance, Terry reluctantly sits down to talk. The more time they spend together, Adam and Terry realize that maybe the apple hasn't fallen too far from the tree. And maybe home isn't so bad after all.
Steve, you have 60 seconds. Why is Searching for Terry Punchout the one book all of Canada should read?
Searching for Terry Punchout is the book all of Canada should read because they haven't read it. From a first-time author out of PEI and from an indie publisher called Invisible Publishing, Searching for Terry Punchout only sold 20 books in 2025, and I'm hoping to increase that number by several. Our book's protagonist, Adam McAllister, begins this story as a mopey, down-on-his-luck Canadian, feeling sorry for himself, a mood and I'm sure many Canadians can relate to. To say this is just a book about hockey would be to say Heated Rivalry is just a book about tuna melts. Yes, many of the themes are hockey-flavored, but the nutrients it provides readers with are introspection, honesty, and laughter. With playful irreverence, humility, and patented East Coast humor, we follow Adam's journey to mend fences or bridges with his community, his friends, his family, and himself on a journey of healing. In this competition, Searching for Terry Punchout punches above its weight.
We have our first Heated Rivalry reference of the week. There you have it, the 5 titles in the running for Canada Reads 2026. They are The Cure for Drowning by Loghan Paylor, chosen by Tegan Quin. Foe by Iain Reid, backed by Josh Dela Cruz. It's Different This Time by Joss Richard, championed by Morgann Book. A Minor Chorus by Billy-Ray Belcourt, chosen by Elle-Máijá Tailfeathers. And Searching for Terry Punchout by Tyler Hellard, selected by Steve Dangle Glynn. There are 5 Canadian books on the table, each with the power to build bridges. By the end of the week, one will be your winner, but by the end of today, one will be eliminated from the show. I'm your host, Ali Hassan. This is Canada Reads on CBC. It's time to debate. This year's Canada Reads theme is one book to build bridges. Each contending book, in its own way, does explore how we understand and connect with each other. So let's debate. How successful are these books at exploring community and connection? Tegan, I'm going to start with you with that question.
Well, I think that's probably one of the things I love the most about The Cure for Drowning is that it's set in a rural community, and you see, two families have to come together very quickly and rely on one another. And you get a really clear portrait in the first half of the book of what this community looks like, what the time period looks like. And I think that there were a lot of things, even though this book is set in the past, there was a lot of things about this book that feel very much of today. One of the families that moves to town, the father is the doctor. He's a German immigrant. It's set during World War II, so there's lots of prejudice. Here's this community that needs him and then also is terrified of him. And I just think it's a book that provides a lot of community in the first part of it, and I think that gives you a lot of characters to hold on to and an opportunity for a lot of different types of people to read this book and find something that resonates.
Steve, let me put the same question to you. How successful are these books at exploring community and connection?
I think it's excellent at it. Our book's protagonist in a lot of ways is kind of one of the least likable, if not the least likable.
You're talking about your own?
Searching for Terry Punchout. That's what you were asking about, right?
I am. I mean, you can talk about any of the books at the table, but
good.
I half expected you to talk about your own. Let's be realistic here. Yeah.
He's kind of like one of the least likable characters in the book, and he kind of discovers that as he goes through. He had to get out. These people are poison, they're not good for me. And then he comes back and he realizes, people didn't necessarily think about you, man. You were a little bit of the problem here. And he discovers that and he reconnects and, mends these bridges that he burnt down himself.
Morgann, before I ask you about maybe your own book,
Yes.
What are your thoughts on what Steve is saying about Searching for Terry Punchout?
Yeah, I think the book kind of screams community in a way. I didn't feel as much connection towards the characters or sometimes between the characters in the novel, but I think community-wise, it was there very much.
Okay. You have a response to that, Steve?
You didn't feel a connection in what way?
It's tough. It's a male main character who loves hockey. That's not me. So I struggled to find some sort of connection between me and any of the characters in that novel. I've only been to the East Coast once, so that's just where I struggled to sort of make connections on my end.
Got it.
Well, Morgann, let me ask you about your book.
Yeah, I think, while there's a lot of great community in Searching for Terry Punchout, I think for my book, community is not necessarily where you're from, but who shows up for you. There's a lot of connection and community in this book in the sense of that. We see different types of connections. We see broken connections between June and her mom and the struggle to have some sort of relationship there. We see self-connection with both main characters going to therapy. I thought that was really impactful, and that wasn't it's not even a book about therapy, but just the line of them going is super important. And we see the connection between the two main characters as they come back together after 5 years and slowly integrate back into each other's lives.
Steve, what are your thoughts on that?
I like that book a lot more than I thought I would as a 38-year-old guy, I guess. Romance isn't necessarily my genre. I actually, you weren't able to relate to Adam and Terry. I found myself actually sort of being able to relate to June a little bit because with every fiber of her being, especially at the beginning, she's trying to make it, right? And I remember, well, geez, I still go through it, right? A lot of imposter syndrome, trying to make it, feeling like achieving something and being like, I made it, right? And for her, I think that was the show she was on. And then you can have made it taken away, as she discovered, right? The show gets canceled, and now what? So the now what that's plunked into her life is something was very familiar.
Elle-Máijá, let me ask you about what you've heard so far at the table.
Well, I think with all of these books, there is some sort of community aspect to it, and I think it ranges from like deep immersion within a community, like my book, to a sense of isolation, particularly in this modern world that we're living in. So there's like a very vast array of explorations of community and what community can mean. And I thought what Morgann said was really interesting about community is who shows up for you. I mean, I don't always agree with that. I think it can be a bit more, but yeah, I hear you.
When you mentioned isolation, you gave a little nod to Josh. Obviously, Foe is rooted in isolation. But let me put that question to you, Josh, both about the what you've heard at the table and your own book. How successful are these books at exploring community and connection?
I love that all these books deal with home. It's either coming home or having to make the choice to leave home, or a combination of the two. Like, from the beginning of our life, that is our community, and that's where we get a lot of the DNA that we take throughout the entire world, how we look at the world. And then we have to come back and figure out, do we still hold those things to be true? I think Foe is wonderful in that sense because it is a microcosm of the larger community, the people that we choose to surround ourselves with. And it asks, is that community serving us currently? Is there a different community that we should explore? And are we staying home? Are we choosing to stay trapped in this community because we're afraid to? Or is there somebody literally standing in the way of that? And so I think it's a really interesting way to personify the things that are going on, like in my head, whether am I not taking this opportunity because I'm terrified of it? Or am I not taking this opportunity because it's not gonna serve me or the people that I love?
Morgann, what are your thoughts on this idea of home represented in these books?
Yeah, I mean, I think it represents home in a really beautiful way. I mean, the entire book.
You're referring to
I'm referring to Foe, sorry. The entire book takes place at home, and I think it creates this really like familiar sense for the reader, like you are at home with those two main characters. So that was very impactful for me while I was reading it.
Okay. Tegan, what are your thoughts on this idea of home and books that were successfully able to, articulate that, represent that in the work?
Yeah, I mean, I think with Foe in particular, it's interesting because, like, it definitely represents home. When it comes to community, actually, it was one of my struggles with the book, is I wanted to know more about the world. I wanted to know more about the science. I wanted to know more. I, really felt there was a lack of detail to understand. It did feel like almost like a screenplay or a stage play, actually, like with two characters. So it really, really made me feel at home, and it made me want to see this on the stage. Yeah. But it lacked some of the description that I would want to understand how that home fits into the wider world.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because they purposefully isolate themselves. And I think that's something that a lot of us, I know that I have from time to time, where I want to not be part of this larger global society where things away from politics, like that's not affecting me. You're trying to stay away from the larger community, but the lack of that participation doesn't protect you from its effects. And I think that it's more of a warning sign that because these things that are happening in the city or in countries that are away from you, it doesn't mean that it's not gonna come to your front door. And so I think it asks us to participate in that, or else we're just gonna have to comply. There's no other choice.
Elle-Máijá, what are your thoughts on what you're hearing there?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's one of the struggles with Foe. Because of who is narrating the story, it is that sense of isolation and disconnection from humanity. And I found it a really clever device, but also a challenge in that way. Whereas with A Minor Chorus, it is this gorgeous portrait of a community. It is a return home. It is such a beautiful depiction, again, of the people who are often disregarded in literature. We get to see people of all walks of life, and it feels like you're really sitting in the room with them and getting to know them on a human level. Like, what actually drives them, and why do they stay in these communities, and what is the beauty of rural communities in Canada? This is, it's a very specific place. It's an unnamed rural community in northern Alberta, but it could be anywhere in this country. And I see so many of the people I know and love in this story, and it is a celebration of community and connection and the urgency of needing to connect with human beings. And I just think Billy-Ray Belcourt has done such a beautiful job with that.
We have about a minute and a half left. Any thoughts, Josh, as far as your book in terms of community?
Yeah, I think the character Hen, she has a choice where she either has to leave home or search for a new community. And I think that's something where we're so isolated today. Everything is built for us in our screens. In the book, it talks about screens and how our screens are really meant to bring us closer together, but they're really isolating. It's completely contrary to what they're made for. And so I think I definitely relate to feeling more isolated than ever in my community that has been curated for me. And I can definitely relate to Henrietta's character of trying to leave this community that's no longer serving me, that I'm trapped by this echo chamber where I'm being told what to like and that it's good for me, and maybe do the scary thing and leave and see what else is out there to find a community that better suits me.
We'll leave it there. That's it for this round. Okay, panelists, Canada Reads is a great debate about books. It might get a little intense. We're just getting started, but it might get emotional. It might be, a little bit of a toll on you. So I'm sure you could do with some early encouragement for the days ahead. We've asked those who know the books best to give you a little pep talk. Listen to this.
Elle-Máijá, I think you're amazing. You're going to do an amazing job. I think all of Indigenous Canada believes in you. I've seen your films. They are incredibly moving. They speak to important history, but also directly to the heart. So I think you should harness that.
Hi, Morgan. It's Joss. I am cheering you on. You are going to open up so many readers to this new genre, and I think you should just do what you do best. Talk about your love for books.
Josh, I think you have an amazing ability to convey your message. That takes a certain type of intelligence to read material, understand it, and then also communicate why it's important to you and why maybe it might be important to others. So thank you for your close reading of the book and your intelligence and your sincerity.
Hi, Tegan. You've always been someone who is able to light up any stage, any recording booth, and any interview you've ever stepped into. So you've totally got this.
Dangle, it has been my absolute pleasure getting to know you and talk books and hockey with you. I will always be grateful that you brought me and my little novel along for this adventure with you. Trust your instincts, but don't be afraid to let that passion of yours off the chain. But most of all, stay hydrated.
You got it, buddy. Those were the voices of this year's Canada Reads authors, Billy-Ray Belcourt, Joss Richard, Iain Reid, Loghan Paylor, and Tyler Hellard, encouraging and stroking the egos of our wonderful panelists. I'm Ali Hassan. This is Canada Reads on CBC. Let's get back to the debate. So this year on Canada Reads, we have 5 works of fiction up for debate. The 5 panelists around the table have read and studied each title intently. With that in mind, I do want to ask, which book was the least satisfying to read and why? Morgan, we'll start with you.
Oh, my God.
Mostly because you made the face of like, what kind of question?
It's because I'm directly across from you, right?
Partly that. You caught my eye.
Which one is the least satisfying?
To read and why?
I'm so sorry to bring up Foe again. Here's what I will say about Foe. Once I understood the ending, I felt a deeper sense of satisfaction. But I had to do some research and go through Reddit threads and go on social media to understand the ending.
Yeah.
I felt like throughout the book, I was waiting for the other shoe to drop. And when it did at the end, it didn't give me a complete sense of satisfaction because I didn't 100% understand.
Yeah.
And while I can see that it is brilliant writing from the get-go, with the way that the grammar was laid out in the book, I found that I read a bunch of thrillers, and this one didn't give me the sense of satisfaction that I often do love in a thriller.
Yeah. Okay. No, I mean, it's interesting because with a book, you have to take more time. When you're sitting in a movie theater, you cannot look at a Reddit thread. You can't look on social media. You just have to experience the book. And that's how I chose to experience this book. I mean, I guess you could talk about it in a way like a Christopher Nolan movie, where if you're watching it and you're constantly like, well, what's going on? And you're constantly going back to your phone and trying to figure the thing out. By the end, it maybe might not feel that way because I chose to unplug from, I put my phone in another room, I just chose to experience the book. When I read it a second time, it was like finding new little treasures and experiencing the book for the first time over and over again. I think Foe is wonderful because it's a reread. You read it over and over and over again, and you find new details that you might have missed, new themes that you really have to meditate on and how that affects your life. So while I do agree that it is a mystery throughout the entire read, I think that it's brilliant because it forces you to go back and really enjoy the read. Yeah.
Elle-Máijá, let me put that question to you, least satisfying read.
Oh, God. Okay. Well, first of all, I want to say I love what you're doing for reading. I think it's incredible.
Elle-Máijá is talking to Morgann Book. Just I should let our radio listeners know.
Yeah. I think it's incredible that young people like you are pushing other young people to read, especially in an age where everywhere you go, people are just looking at their phones and not engaging with the world around them and literature in particular. I have to say that It's Different This Time was the least satisfying for me. I felt like it had so much potential. I was really excited because this is the only other non-white author at the table. I thought, oh, wow, like a Filipino-Canadian, what's she gonna bring to romance? But I felt like it fell flat. I didn't really get to know the main character. I know how she feels about Adam. I know what she wants to do for work. I know she has a complicated relationship with her mother and her family, but I don't really know why, apart from that phone call towards the end. Instead, there's this sort of like heightened, almost like fetishization of whiteness and this like perfect upper middle class kind of boring white family of Adams. And after a while, it's like, okay, we get it. They're perfect. And it's kind of boring. I don't really know like what makes June tick as a person. I don't know what like really inspires her and drives her. I don't really feel like I know her. And I feel like the sex wasn't like hot enough. Like I wanted something more, especially from romance. Like I thought The Cure for Drowning was like, those scenes are erotic, and it's like a real poeticism of the erotics, and also obviously Billy-Ray Belcourt is so good at writing intimacy and sex.
I want to jump in for a quick second and tell, people who are maybe cruising around with their children in their car right now, we might be talking more about sex, so consider yourself warned and hopefully prepared for that. But Morgann, what is your response to that?
Yeah, I respectfully disagree. I felt like I knew June for who she was in every part of her, and there was a lot of things that I did not connect with her on that I was still able to feel through the writing and the decisions. I mean, it's a romance book. It's not going to give you every single detail towards a character, but romance is the vehicle for so many other things. I mean, we have Adam's family, and I see it more of like this chosen family. She's talking with the family about things she wouldn't even talk about with her own mother. And I don't think the relationship with the mom needed any more. I think we saw it very clearly for what it was. On the representation side, I mean, I chatted with Joss Richard, the author, about it, about the Filipino representation in it. And she wanted to just have it in there, but she didn't want it to be necessarily performative. And many of her readers really, really loved that. Like, they loved that she made the character Filipina without needing to necessarily address it more than a couple times, because she was just living her life. There was a line in the book where she was struggling to get a role because she wasn't Asian enough and she wasn't white enough. And other than that, there wasn't any other moments where her race was mentioned, because it didn't necessarily impact the story. And when I was going through the reviews for this book, there was a reviewer, and she talked about how much she loved that the character was just Filipina and it didn't necessarily, like, it wasn't performative. And she compared it to, like, Bridgerton, how there's great representation there, but it doesn't necessarily lean on the story. And as far as the sex goes, I purposely chose a novel that didn't have high levels of that, because I wanted it to be a book that all of Canada should read, even like the younger girls who I'm often talking to. I wanted a sex-positive book, and that's what it was to me.
Steve, I want to make sure I bring you into this. Same question to you, the least satisfying read out of the 5.
The 4 books that weren't mine. No, I knew there was going to be payoff, and it's different this time. I wanted to fight that guy who interrupted them in the restaurant. I was like, no, come on, they're about to, come on. Foe, it's not meant to be satisfying, right? It's meant to, like, there doesn't need to be anything happening in that book for you to want to turn the page, for it to be a page turner, for you to be captivated by it. But, when the payoff came, I don't want to spoil it for anyone who hasn't necessarily read it, I was like, okay, that was good. Was the juice worth the squeeze, if that makes any sense? And, like, with the minor chorus as well, I was excited to meet all these people. And it just felt like that was all you did, was you met them. It was one of the books at this table that I felt could have been longer, if that makes any sense. I think I'm a pretty mediocre author, not to tell Billy-Ray Belcourt how to do his thing, but I wanted to learn more about these folks, and they were nice interactions, and then they just sort of ended, and then they went away. And that left me wanting more.
Elle-Máijá?
That's interesting. I think the fact that you wanted more speaks to the power of the book. And I disagree. I think that all of these interactions with many of them are strangers, are deeply intimate. We have an opportunity to, this protagonist spends time with a married man in bed, and we get to understand the dynamics of that man's sexuality, his history, what happened with his wife. We get to understand the inner worlds of all of these people, and I think that's so incredibly remarkable and touches us on, like, a spirit level and a level of soul, and also intimacy that is so often something that we don't actually encounter in the real world.
All right, we have 2 minutes left. Tegan's fans are going to write to me with fury if I don't have you
Sarah's
come in.
texting him.
Yes.
Let my sister speak.
Can I ask you the same question, this least satisfying read?
Yeah, I first just want to say all of you are speaking about your books so well, and it's just really inspiring to be here. I'm really looking forward to this week, and it's just lovely to hear you talk about your books.
And now the hammer.
Yeah. It's hard. I agree with lots of things that have been said here. I think for me, the least satisfying read was Foe. For all the things mentioned here, it was a page turner.
Yeah.
But I was frustrated.
Yeah.
For what I already said, I just wanted more of the world, and I do agree that potentially the payoff at the end wasn't big enough to have built that frustration and then satisfied it or released it. I also, like Morgann, had to look up what happened. Like, I didn't fully understand it, which I'm not afraid to admit. I also don't think that's a bad thing. I think when a book asks more of you after you're done reading it, when you have to do more thinking about a book, when you have to revisit those characters and remember what they told you, those are all really powerful things in reading. I think for me, I just didn't feel satisfied at the end of reading it.
I think I definitely disagree, because it is my favorite book. But that being said, at the core, Foe is about communication and being present. And by the end of the book, I felt, well, what did I miss? like, surely there could have been something. And it pulls into question, I had to go back. I had to look at these interactions again. Like, after my third read, I was still finding new things. And if it's a book that sits with you and that you're thinking about and that you have to talk to other people about, I think it's wonderful that you had to go into Reddit, that you had to do all these things, that you just didn't read it and you moved on with your day. You had to communicate with the community.
We'll have to leave it there. Thank you all. That is it for this round. Okay,
Really?
panelists.
Okay.
It is almost the end of day one of Canada Reads. You're never prepared for it. This means our first elimination is coming up. I'm going to give you each a chance to respond to what has been said today, a final word, before we head into the vote. So we'll go around the table in the same order that we did at the beginning of the show. Tegan, you are up first. You have your final word, and you have 30 seconds.
I loved reading The Cure for Drowning. I'm really excited to defend it. I didn't get called on today to defend the book, but I did note that a few people mentioned length, and I do want to say that I think the length of this book is one of the positives of it. It's full of story and character development. It's gripping. I think it's a satisfying read, and it's a sprawling adventure that I was happy to go on, and I look forward to talking more about it with all of you.
Thank you, Tegan. All right. Josh, you have 30 seconds for your last words.
I loved Foe. I thought it was an exciting book. I love that it is written in short chapters, not to be oversimplified and but so that you could understand this story and these thoughts that are coming by so quickly. If you haven't read a book in a long time, this is the book that I think that you should read. If you feel guilty about reading a book because it's escapism, this is responsible escapism. It talks about corporatocracy. It talks about dealing with your family and your relationships in it.
Thank you, Josh. Morgann, you're up next. You have 30 seconds.
I read a lot of books. I'm at about 35 books for the year, and this is the best one that I have technically reread this year. I think it deals with a lot of real issues while also using romance as an escape for readers. I think it's an incredible debut novel with very real characters and relationships, and you can't help but root for them. And it's a feel-good novel with a lot of real things, and that's why I loved it.
Okay. Thank you, Morgann. Elle-Máijá, time for your final word. 30 seconds are on the clock.
My community recently lost someone. His name was George Callinglast. He's in my documentary, Gimmabi Bitsin, The Meaning of Empathy. George was a residential school survivor, and he spent a lot of his life incarcerated and unhoused. But in spite of all of that, he was such a beautifully profound, loving, generous, and humorous person, and he gifted me so much. And getting to know George made me feel less lonely, and sharing his story made me feel less lonely. And I feel like A Minor Chorus speaks to the people who are like George and their lives and why they matter.
Very sorry to leave it there, but thank you, Elle-Máijá. Steve, it's your turn. You have 30 seconds.
Searching for Terry Punchout is a fun read. It's a light read. It's not stressful, which is something that I battle with a lot. I think it is the best representation of building bridges with your community, which a lot of us need to rebuild them rather than build them from scratch, which can often be harder to do because ego gets in the way. I thought it was a very satisfying read. I loved the characters. I loved the picture that it painted of Canada.
Thank you, Steve. Okay, panelists, that is it for today's debate. It is time to vote. You have your ballots in front of you.
Oh, why'd it go red?
No. We're gonna ask you to mark an X beside the book that you want to eliminate from the competition. Once you have voted, Zoe from the Canada Reads team will take your ballot. I want to remind everyone that there are no secret ballots on Canada Reads. Which title will be the first to go? Will it be The Cure for Drowning by Loghan Paylor? Tegan Quin is championing that novel. Will it be Foe by Iain Reid? Josh Dela Cruz is supporting that title. Or will it be It's Different This Time by Joss Richard? This novel is being championed by Morgann Book. Or will it be A Minor Chorus by Billy-Ray Belcourt? This novel was selected by Elle-Máijá Tailfeathers. Will it be Searching for Terry Punchout by Tyler Hellard? The title chosen by Steve Dangle Glynn. I know that this moment in the show comes very quickly, not just for people at the table, but also for people watching at home. And on that note, I would like to do a shout out to people who are watching and feeling the tension of this moment. CBC Radio 1, CBC TV, CBC Gem, CBC Books, and on the podcast. And also what I do know is there are many different communities that get together and watch together in various locations, libraries, and community centers. And I know those are people who all have their favorites. They come to this debate with their favorites in mind, and I know this is a very tense situation for them as well. I'll give a little shout out to some of those communities as we await the results. In Edmonton, the Edmonton Public Library has groups gathered together, listening and watching. Rocky Mountain House in Alberta, a number of libraries across Ontario, Vaughan, Midland, Bonnechere, Ingersoll, Stouffville, Port Colborne, and then in Nova Scotia, Open Secrets Books as well. So shout out to all of you. I have the results. So, Morgann Book, how did you vote?
I voted for Foe.
Okay, we have one vote against Foe. Elle-Máijá Tailfeathers, how did you vote?
I voted for It's Different This Time.
Okay. We have a second vote, and it is against It's Different This Time. Josh Dela Cruz, how did you vote?
I voted for A Minor Chorus.
3 votes, 3 different books. Foe, It's Different This Time, and A Minor Chorus, all on our proverbial chopping block. Tegan Quin, how did you vote?
I voted for Foe.
Okay, that is 2 votes against Foe. This will be determined by you. Steve Dangle Glynn, how did you vote?
Why are you making me do this? I voted for Foe.
With 3 votes against it, that does mean that Foe has been eliminated from Canada Reads. Well, 2 minutes left. You know, it's not fair for me to do this and not even give you time to process. I will say that Steve, Josh, if this is some consolation, wrote the words, wrote the X, and then wrote, "Sorry, I love you." Decided. If that makes you feel better, let's take 30 seconds and ask you how you're feeling in this moment.
Oh my gosh, I have nothing but gratitude for this entire experience. Like, I chose Foe because growing up, reading has always been a chore. And Foe is the first book that I picked up in a long time, especially we're fighting for time, always. We have screens everywhere. You know, I can't have a conversation without thinking about something else. And Foe was the first time I ever felt like I was in one place doing one thing, and it made me fall in love with reading. And I'm so thankful for it. And I'm so thankful for it because it made me so excited to read your book and your book and your book and your book. And I do want to say, the only reason that I picked A Minor Chorus, I think it's beautifully written. I think that the stories need to be told and the experiences, but it was...
Josh, I'll have to leave it there because we went to a hard clock. There's more. We will say goodbye to Foe. We are also saying goodbye to the folks listening on CBC Radio. Right now, if you're online, watching on TV, we'll have a few more minutes with our panelists. There are 4 books left. It's Different This Time, Searching for Terry Punchout, The Cure for Drowning, and A Minor Chorus. I'm Ali Hassan. 3 days left, 3 eliminations to go until we find the one book all of Canada should read. Today's debate is over. We will talk about what went down today. We will give Josh the time to say what he was about to say. Always terrible. Your passion was ramping up, Josh, and I feel bad for cutting you off there.
Great TV, though.
Great TV.
It's like an episode of The Pit.
Well, great radio. Now it's TV. That was radio. This is TV. And I'd love for you to continue what you're saying,
No.
and even I'm sure you have some thoughts to share with your author, Iain Reid, who you had a nice connection with.
Just to finish the thought with a minor chorus, it was the only book that it was so poetic that I had to read it over and over and over again just to understand. And it made me laugh because it is recognized in the book. It was, and I felt seen. It said, "I often question what use that language was when it alienated so many. But at the same time, it did say, but just as we don't get to choose who we love, as the saying goes, I don't think we get to choose which kinds of language envelop us like another layer of skin."
Wow.
Simultaneously, it is one of the most beautiful books I've ever read, and I'm so thankful for it. I'm so glad that it's still in the running. Iain, this book, as you know, made me fall in love with reading and also made me look at my relationship with my wife just to make sure that I am present with her, that I am being a partner, not just a husband in the sense, in every sense of the word. And so I'm so thankful for that, that I get a chance to look at my relationships and see how present I actually am, and that I need to participate in this community that I'm a part of, whether I like it or not.
And that she's not AI.
And she's not AI.
I mean,
That's where I thought you were going, where I was like, I had to look at my
haven't-
relationship with my wife.
We haven't reached the end of your story, Josh.
Yes.
Well, hopefully she's not AI. Any thoughts for Iain Reid?
Iain, I think that this is an incredible book. I can't wait for more people to read it. Just because we're voted off today, please pick up this book. It is incredible. It is such a quick read. I found myself going, I can read a little bit more, I can read a little bit more, I can read a little bit more. And I think that is what I have heard from every single person that I've talked to reading this book. And I'm so glad to hear that people are reading again because of this book. So thank you.
We have 3 minutes left. This is a point of the show I'd like to call a love-in. And just to give some positive things around the table about this book, I'd like to go to Mr. Sorry I Love You himself, Steve Dangle, at the table. I think you're the perfect first person to talk about something positive about A Foe and your reading experience of it.
I mean, the craft of it is incredible. It was one of the more confusing experiences I've had while reading, and I mean that complimentary, because, like I said, there would be pages and pages, chapters and chapters where nothing substantial happens, and I'm like, why am I so into this?
Yeah.
Like, why am I invested in the nothing that's going on? And then, but it makes the little things that much more pronounced. And one of the things I wanted to talk about, but we ran out of time, in terms of satisfaction, I was like, they better pay off this damn Beatle thing.
Yeah.
They better pay this off. And I was so glad they finally did.
Yeah.
I spent the week or so that I was reading it looking around for like different bugs and stuff, and like,
Tegan,
what does this mean for my life?
You also voted against Foe. Let me get you in here too.
Yeah, I did. I mean, I agree. It was a page turner. It was gripping in the sense that I really wanted to know what was going to happen. If I had my book with me, you can see I folded a page halfway through. So I did the first half in one sitting.
Yeah.
And I think that is a testament to the way that it's written and to why you chose it. And, I think it left me with a lot of questions, which made me feel unsatisfied. But I think it is also a positive of the book. I think it asks a lot of questions. I think it's well crafted. I want it desperately to actually be a play.
Yeah.
I actually watched the movie, and I still want it to be a play. So I think it's a great choice. And you did an excellent job defending it. And I'm so glad that it inspired you to pick up reading, because I think reading is like literally the most important thing we can have in our lives. So I'm so glad I got you reading.
Let me bring Morgann Book in for a final comment.
It's
You also
okay.
voted against.
I will keep it short. I think these two said a lot of great things. I loved what you said at the end about, like, in your relationship, how this one made you rethink it. I think that's what I love so much about books, how they influence our everyday lives. I mean, despite the lack of satisfaction, like I already mentioned, this was brilliantly written. And I struggled at the beginning with the lack of quotations, but when we figured out why, I was like, damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay, friends, a good reminder in this moment. This is the 25th edition of Canada Reads. The show has aired since 2002, one of the most important platforms for reading. And this show, makes books bestsellers. So that's a lot for him to be very happy about. That's a wrap on Canada Reads. My thanks to our panelists, Tegan Quin, Josh Dela Cruz, Morgann Book, Elle-Máijá Tailfeathers, and Steve Dangle Glynn. They'll all be back tomorrow. We'll see you then. I'm Ali Hassan. Until then, read on, Canada.